My kid bought me a comic book. Whenever they are around, like I don't know where they go to like thrift stores and they find these old comic books and pick out the ones that were drawn by my uncle and bring them home. It's adorable.
And do they actually find the comic books that were drawn by Carmine?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Can you tell Carmine at a glance?
His artwork, I can, and now my eldest can. Yeah. So they notice it's from the drawing style.
So they can
whether
tell
it's a
Carmine from
and then they check the. Usually, it says on the inside. Yeah, you can totally tell.
How many did he do you think? I mean, how long was he?
Thousands.
Thousands?
He was there from the 50s to the double aughts.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he did Star Wars comics. Did he do any in the double aughts? I'm trying to think here. He may have done a thing or two, maybe into the 90s. But he was definitely going to Comic-Con and,
Interesting.
Quite the character.
Well, that's good. You're passing down the family legacy. Is anybody doodling? Are any of your offspring doodling?
Yeah. My eldest is totally a drawer, as is my youngest, who is really into crocheting.
Oh, boy, that's hardcore.
So, yeah.
I'd rather have somebody who draws who draws naughty pictures than
what is it about crocheting that you find
crochet? Oh, it's completely evil. They got that little hook stick with the hook on the end of it, and they seem all peaceful and they seem all nice and it's all fuzzy.
Oh yeah.
But it's not. Oh, yeah. They're just lulling you into a false sense of security. And then
they right in your eye.
The crochet hook.
Yeah.
But all joking aside, well, that's good. Is the drawing one creating stories or just still frames?
No, that's a really good point. I don't know. I think they'd be great at making graphic novels. They develop these really interesting characters, really into pottery as well.
What's wrong with
pottery and drawing?
Seriously, what's wrong with your DNA? I mean, crochet and it sounds like my childhood in rural Connecticut in like 1975. We did decoupage. Are any of your kids doing decoupage?
I have not told them what that is.
Do you know what it is?
I'm afraid to. Isn't decoupage? Let me okay, you take like a generic looking coffee mug, right? And you use Mod Podge. And my mom did it.
Yeah, I mean,
that's where a lot of this comes from. The craftiness, I think, from my mom.
The OG decoupage.
And the artiness from my dad.
Because I got sucked into this. I did punch rugs. I shouldn't say this, really. I shouldn't say it because all this is being fed to the AI.
I have a bidet, and you did punch rugs. So I think you're not allowed to. You're not allowed to question my manhood.
Yeah, the only thing I didn't go all the way to hell. I didn't do string art. Oh, okay. So I didn't go to the nice.
String art. Yeah.
Of hobby hell.
No. Yeah,
but I did decoupage. What decoupage is you took like a wooden, like a platform, like almost like a trophy plaque, and then you would take a picture and maybe singe the edges of the picture and put it over the thing and then paint the whole thing with like polyurethane or Mod Podge or some kind of glossy lacquer. That's decoupage.
Okay.
So there's decoupage. There was punch rugs. There was the M word. Dare I say it? Macrame.
What? Macrame.
Oh.
See, there's a ton of stuff. And so here's how it happened with my youngest. I got them something called a wooble. Have you heard of woobles?
How can you not? It's most heavily. Yeah, they're obviously not spending any money on the product itself because they spend 99% of their budget on marketing because they're everywhere.
Yeah.
It's like little crochet projects. It's like little mini crochet projects.
They're like little ready-made, cute little creatures that you can crochet.
And what's crochet? Is crochet the thing where you get the grid? You get like
there are different grids, and so my youngest is really into granny squares. These are like tiles, like crochet tiles that you learn to make.
Yeah.
And they come out square instead of round, which obviously you can just do a round because you're just going around. You're starting with a little knot and then you're just kind of going around and around and around it. But then you get a little skill and you can make squares.
Okay, you lost me on that one. But okay, there's crochet, but then there's like, okay,
Because it's
so
not like knitting. You don't go in a line. You don't crochet in
no,
a
no, you
line.
don't. You have a
Yeah, you
grid.
crochet
I
around
thought
a
you,
center.
oh, I thought you had like a plastic grid. I thought it
Oh
was,
no, no, no,
it's
no,
not that.
no.
No, I did freehand needlework. I shouldn't say this really honestly. Can we just like
It's too late. We're live.
it's too
No
late.
listen.
Oh,
No
that's right. It's live.
visible listeners so far.
Oh,
So
good. My
yeah,
secret's
but
safe with
I
you.
can't
I did
tell.
all this stuff. I did all this stuff because my mother and my sisters were really into this, and I punched rugs, and I did freehand needlepoint, and I did decoupage, and I did macrame. It's great.
Mm.
It's great. I know how to do all that stuff, and you have a certain. And I was very happy when my daughter, her big crafty enterprise was slime,
Oh yes.
which is a huge thing, and it's
Yeah, my
almost
kids
like
went through a slime
it's a
phase.
cult. It's a cult,
Yeah.
and my daughter's like, "We have to go to Target."
We
Why?
need
Because
we need
I
gallons
need,
of Elmer's. Yeah.
I no. Oh yeah, you need the others, but you also need like the gallons of eye contact cleaner solution.
Yes, you're right. I
Like they're
know.
freebasing. Like they're using
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
precursor chemicals.
Like,
It's like
did the
making
cops
meth.
stop you on the way out? Like, did like drug control come and find you? And
Right. That's a
what are you using that for?
class one controlled substance you have.
We
They go out and
we found
they buy all
we
this stuff.
found a gray van filled. The back
This
is filled with eyeglass cleaner, contact cleaner fluid,
oh
and
yeah.
Elmer's glue.
Oh yeah, it's nuts,
Yeah,
and detergent and other stuff, and there's these different recipes for how you want to, if you want the sound, you go
there
for
was. Yeah, that's right. Snappy slime or something like
right,
that.
right. And
Yeah.
there's all different kinds of slimes, and every now and then I'd like, when I was like cleaning out the garage, I'd pull out a drawer on a bureau in the garage, and there'd be like a dried bottle of slime on the bottom of the drawer. But it's good though because I mean, it's fine. I mean, it's a good thing because you learn about crafting stuff, you learn about making things, and you learn about putting things together and how to make things look better.
Yeah.
So I like it.
Yeah, I mean, well, no, I mean the hobbies, they're kind of great. They're not into paper mache and they're not into decoupage. Or what
Good.
was the other? So
Macrame,
then macrame, my mom was into
needlepoint,
not decoupage, but something else. Um,
string art. No, I'm
oh,
not going to do
it
string
was
art.
like where you have like eggs that you like have like really thin paper that you kind of brush on with glue, and then and there's like 120 layers of lacquer around it. It's like
No,
paint and collage onto like blown eggs.
got me.
Yeah,
That one I'm unfamiliar with.
they're beautiful, and they took forever. I didn't. I think I did. Maybe I helped with one of them. Yeah,
How do we get onto this? So they were
not sure.
walking
Oh,
on.
I started with the comic books. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah, Carmine. And then the question was, do they have? But it sounds like everybody's got a crafty little hobby, and I think that's good.
I think crafts are good.
Yeah,
Nothing wrong with it.
not at all.
Okay, so we're going to talk about
Well, we're going to talk as much as we can about our excursion into Steinbeck
right.
land. Um, and the book that we read was East of Eden by John Steinbeck. And this was recommended by a former guest of ours, Dar Williams, called me up and said, you really need to read East of Eden. Um, and they're just great, according to Dar, just felt like there were great lines in it, real truisms. Um, and that it deals with issues of, obviously wealth inequality, um,
Prejudice,
sociopathy, prejudice, yeah, bigotry,
um,
um, land expansion, and
fraternal
the
fraternal relationships, relationships between brothers, relationships with your father,
Right.
family relationships are central to it.
Yeah, absolutely. So I read the whole thing and I really did enjoy it. And Lionel, you got about a third of the way through
I
and you
think
were
I got
like, I
about
just
a
can't
third of the
take it
way
anymore.
through it, but yeah. Um, but you go ahead. You talk about it.
Well, okay, so my experience with it, I mean, it was sort of a strange coincidence that I had just, driven to Salinas to get a new phone. um, because where I was staying near Monterey, everything was there was a blackout because of a strong wind, and none of the stores were open, and my phone was crapping out, so I needed to get a new phone, and the closest place was like I don't know, half an hour away in Salinas. When we drive up, it was like I don't know, I forget what it is, what the route is from there, but drive all the way out and it at some point you're going through the mountains and then it opens up and there's the Salinas Valley and that's pretty breathtaking because you can see the mountains on either side and it just continues down that long that long pathway
Mhm.
towards Los Angeles. um, and the scale gets very big and it just feels like every inch of it is being cultivated and farmed. um, except for the town of Salinas, which is very flat. So uh, there's a museum to Steinbeck there, which we didn't go to because I didn't know much about Steinbeck. And the next time I get a chance, I probably will go and visit that museum. Um, and I know that he grew up in this area. He grew up in a kind of a farming life. And the book is very much about that. But what's a little bit deceptive in the beginning, you think the whole thing's going to take place in that location. And it absolutely doesn't. It
Right.
starts here in New England
Connecticut.
and then it moves out. Yeah. It's like, it's the typical old, like
Yankees.
late 1800s
Yeah.
Connecticut farming experience. Totally different. And wars and, people being drafted and it's after the Civil War. It starts after the Civil War,
Right.
and there's a lot of talk of the Civil War and the heroes of the Civil War, and people who maybe cheated a bit, maybe weren't entirely honest or didn't come by their honors honestly. And
You're talking about
the father,
the father, the Trask father, who's
yeah,
that was a truly interesting
yeah,
way he presented him, because you're not really sure.
no,
You're not really sure about anything. And
it's not clear.
it seems like the father's not even sure either. Like at the end,
It's like he started talking, and then people started listening, and suddenly he's advising,
yeah,
the military.
right.
Um,
Yeah, the father's he's a fascinating character because in the end, he's very sort of unsure of what he is. Remember, like when it
yeah,
comes for time for him to leave money to his sons, he's,
yes,
like they don't know anything about him. And you get the feeling he
right.
doesn't know anything about himself either. And at the end, he's like, he's talking to his sons and saying, it's a horrible thing. War's all, they're going to,
Right.
like when, oh yeah, I remember now. That's one of the parts of the book I really liked. He said, when you
Mm.
go, when you join the army, they're going to ask you to do really horrible things.
Right. Oh, I like how he chooses which son has to go into the military and
Right.
which absolutely shouldn't. And it's not the one who's tougher and can handle a fight better. It's
Right.
the one who can't
Yeah.
that he sends to the army.
Yeah.
And because the other one, I forget how Steinbeck, then of course it's the phrasing and the way he explains the words that he puts in people's mouths. He says, it's like violence comes too easily to him. He'll gain nothing by being in the army,
Yeah.
whereas you'll gain everything. But it's better than that, of course. There's this kind
Yeah.
of beautiful phrasing to it.
And he's wrong.
But yeah, the older brother, the two sons. There's always the two sons. So it's very Adam and Eve. It's very
Cain and
kind of
Abel.
it's like
Yeah.
a
It's
Cain and
Cain and
Abel
Abel.
story repeatedly, throughout. And the two sons, um, one is one is kind, right? And the other just can't seem to feel human emotion.
Yeah,
And
Charles is
Charles just
Charles is
busies
a
himself.
yeah, he's
Yeah.
just much more. I love that final phrase. I think it's the last time you see Charles because I didn't read the entire book, so I don't know if Charles
Right.
comes back at
Yes.
any point. But what was the final line that when we leave Charles is that he went on to gain great wealth but no happiness, to
That's
be
right.
to become immensely respected but have no friends. It's a really great line. I'm mangling it, but it's just a
It's
great final line.
the
Um,
book is devastating throughout, and yet it's worth it for the just the insights into the nature of these people that Steinbeck puts across. I mean, that's what makes it a marvel, I think. And I think also that's what makes it worth finishing at some point, because although yes, you can kind of see what's coming, that's not the point. It's actually watching his insight into the characters as they change
mhm.
that is really exciting, and that's why I like every night when I would lay down and listen to the audiobook, I just couldn't wait to get back to it. It was really
Hmm.
an amazing story, I thought.
Yeah. So the polarizing figure in the entire book is I forget her first name is Kathy Ames. Is that what it
Ames,
is?
yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah,
And
Kathy Ames, and she's for want of a better word, she's a psycho,
yep,
and it's really unrelenting, and it's really surprising because this
yeah,
book was
never
written in
changes. Yeah,
1953,
yes,
52. It was published in 52, but Kathy Amesbury is somebody who never explains herself, never reveals her internal state of mind. She does,
yep,
she speaks, um, but she's a homicidal maniac. And
a little
yeah,
bit.
to a large degree. I mean, not random, but she certainly is very comfortable with whacking people.
Yeah.
And when she does talk, it's not very pleasant, and so it kind of turns the book a little bit into a horror film because you're just waiting for the next time that she's going to go nutso and kill somebody.
Oh, and she's also unbelievably beautiful, right? But beautiful like a kind of a china doll, or she's described as childlike and small.
Yeah,
You
it's a
know?
weird description, and almost strange enough when I read there's the initial description of her, which sounds almost, I hate to say it, hermaphroditic a little bit.
Oh yeah,
Like
yeah.
I don't know. It's just it's very
She isn't. I
disturbing.
mean, obviously, she does have kids.
Right,
So it's not that she's like of a strange chromosome mix or something where she's like can't have kids. She has kids,
right.
but she's described as
She's unusual.
like she never really fully develops, right?
Right.
Um, and having kids actually does almost kind of kill her. So,
Right. And
uh,
she's and her that kind of like you're just at that point the book becomes like, okay, what's she gonna do next? And you're just constantly worrying about whether
right.
she's gonna leap out from behind a bush and stab somebody.
It's true. She's genuinely scary. Yeah.
Genuinely scary. And he milks it to death. He worked, he does this whole thing. You can see it coming from a mile off.
Yeah.
Um what's going to happen, and that just kind of like erodes a little bit the reading enjoyment because you just want to enjoy the other parts of it. um
Well, I have to tell you, I mean, she really, once she leaves the farm they're not in Salinas. I tracked down where the Kings, I think they're in Kings County or King County or something like that, which is significant. If you look at it on a map, it's significantly south. So that's why they take a train into Salinas. It's not
right,
like a stroll. Um, or I guess you can get on horseback, but it'd be a significant ride.
right.
And these farms are pretty far away from each other.
Uh-huh.
So um, Kathy, um, I don't want to give away parts of the book. Kathy, uh, motherhood is not agreeable
Yeah,
to Kathy.
to put it
Let's say,
mildly.
yeah.
Right.
Um, she's got her eyes set on other things.
But it's hard.
To
What has she got her eyes set on? Well, I guess I should
Well,
read
it's
the
like
rest of the
she's
book.
like Charles. Like I mean, Charles and she are. That's why the scene between Charles and her is fantastic.
Right.
And you realize that she's worse than Charles, and that Charles is naive compared to her,
Right.
and doesn't and I mean, he can see what's happening, but he can't stop it in time.
Right.
And but he knows what she is, and
Yeah.
he wants to protect his brother, but he knows that he can't.
Uh-huh.
That's an amazing scene. So he's like, okay, bye bye. They're like, we're going to California, hooray! And he's like, all right,
Yeah.
I'll be here. Um, and he knows it's just disaster ahead. So yeah, I loved that. And then, so finally, then, but Kathy basically walks out on motherhood entirely, and that's going to happen, right? I mean,
Right.
I don't know. I hope I didn't give away anything, like
Well,
any
who
kind of a
cares?
surprise. But
Like nobody's listening. But yeah,
well, we got
she.
one live person. Jay's in the chat here,
Hi,
but
Jay.
nothing in the chat actually.
Okay.
But and by the way, if you want to support this podcast, go to our website, funnynotfunny.bigego.com, and click on the support us and join my Patreon. I'm running the whole Patreon for this, and we do our lives through the Patreon. If you want to see us record it and listen before I get my hands on it to edit, you can do that there. It's important to support us because we are an independent podcast and we don't want to run ads for AI if we can help it.
Like we never
Anyway,
run
back to
ads.
the show.
Back to the show.
Mm,
Um. Yes, and what I found interesting about what I read of it is it's definitely of a different era, the writing style,
yeah,
and you definitely have like you it's weird. It's almost like an earlier generation of an awareness of bigotry
yeah.
because you have this stereotype of the Irishman, which is the Hamilton father, the guy who digs the wells.
Oh, yes, that's right. And he's from Ireland, right?
And
Of
he's a
course. And
lovely
he's got the gift
character.
of gab, right?
He has the gift of
Yeah,
gab and blah blah
yeah.
blah 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 blah
He
blah.
is a lovable character, though.
He's a
You gotta
lovable character because we love
makes
those
everything with
Irish
his
people.
hands and
He
works his
takes a
ass
little nip from
off.
the bottle every now and then, but
Oh,
his
yeah,
but
that's
his
right.
wife beats him. Okay, so
Well, she's something else, yeah.
yeah, and she's interesting too, and also, but the interesting thing is Lee, who's the Chinese servant.
My favorite, of course, and I think probably everybody's favorite character in this book. It must be.
Right, I got to the point at least where Lee reveals himself,
Yes. I love that
and
scene.
it's
Why doesn't that happen in movies more often? Like, why isn't that ripped off in every film where somebody's speaking like with a crazy accent?
yeah.
That that is so brilliant in 1950.
Right. And it's very, very, so it's very interesting. And obviously, his recounting, and what I thought was particularly interesting was Steinbeck's description of Adam Trask's experience in the army dealing with American Indians and how
Yes.
Adam Trask was completely traumatized by it.
Yep.
Um,
Because he hated doing it.
he hated doing it. And it was kind of unclear whether he was killing them or whether he was. I think there's one thing where it was about a lot of them died of smallpox and the bodies were all stacked up.
Yeah.
And it's not entirely clear, but I thought, whoa,
Yeah.
for 1952, I mean, he's definitely, it's got some words in it that probably would be very uncomfortable nowadays. But it's very interesting to see him talking about these things. And I'd be interested. I don't think he served in World War II. I doubt it. He would have been too old.
Oh,
Um,
Steinbeck?
yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know his history well enough.
Well, I looked up because I sort of scanned it. I said, uh, Steinbeck's own opinion of East of Eden. I couldn't find anything because what I was really looking for was
Wow.
him talking about it, like him
He
giving
was
you
never
this.
interviewed or anything about it then.
Maybe he
Had to have
was.
been, though.
I didn't look
Had
that
to have been.
hard, but I wondered how much was because I was trying to figure out. You have Kathy,
Yeah.
and like, do we have any predecessor to Kathy? Do you know of any predecessor to Kathy?
What do
I
you mean
don't.
predecessor?
Like
Oh,
some
you
literary
mean in
figure
another
like
book?
her.
I'm not well read enough of like the Victorians or anything, but no, I mean, Kathy is kind of like Jack the Ripper. I mean, there's just no human emotion there at all. And where there is, she just seems to take enjoyment in the suffering of other people,
Right. So I can't
but
think of
not
an
much.
antecedent to that in
Um,
literature. And I've wondered, I guess the question I was asking myself is when did, I should probably look this up right now, but when did you look it up? When did Truman Capote's In Cold Blood come out?
oh, okay.
Because
Um,
that was an epical event. Jim's typing.
yeah.
I think it's
In
57.
Cold Blood.
In Cold Blood is probably like 57 or 58.
Hmm. No, 66.
Yeah. So
And it
it's
details the 1959 Clutter family murders.
right. So it's
So,
way before
it's
that.
after. Yeah,
It's
this is way before that. Yeah.
way before In Cold Blood, which sort of is a huge inflection point in how literature and movies treat these kind of issues.
Well, the whole
Um,
idea of well, but there's two different things. There's a serial killer, which Kathy is not, and then there is a sociopath or psychopath, which Kathy is somewhere on the spectrum there.
right.
And what's odd is how is it only two characters that are on that spectrum, or is Trask's father also on that? No, he's not. No, he
He's
has
not.
real feelings.
He has real feelings.
But you have two sociopaths meeting each other, which is utterly bizarre, I think, in a book like this. It's not just one, there are two. You know, there's Charles and Kathy. And Charles sort of has it under control. He has enough regret um, about what he did to Adam when Adam was young
Right.
to know he doesn't want to do that anymore.
Right.
But
No,
he
no,
doesn't have
they're different people altogether because Charles talks a lot. He talks a lot
yeah,
about his feelings. He tells you that he's angry that the father didn't like the knife that he gave him.
that's his main thing. Yeah.
Right. And it's
Yeah. He never
obsessive,
lets that go.
but at least
Yeah.
he explain, no, they're really different people. Kathy's much more satanic
Yeah.
in a way. And so I'm just interested in like, where does that come from? And I just wondered if like the experience of World War II, wonder if that affected Steinbeck's writing or whether it's always in his heart. Um, so I don't know. I don't know, but
Jay
it's
comments in the chat here
yeah,
that they find both Sam and Lee uncomfortably wholesome. That and
yeah,
that's valid. I think
yeah. It's
that's valid. Yes.
1953.
Yeah.
It's a yeah. I think
Lee
it's
is
what
yeah. Both of them. Yeah, I would say both of them. Sam and Lee are both. Uh, I mean, Lee is ridiculously like a is just married to Adam in a weird way. It's like a domestic relationship.
well, I didn't go as far as you did, so I
Oh
can't
yeah,
speak to
okay,
that.
yeah, no, right. Towards the end, you realize it's no longer about employment.
Right.
It's all the family that Lee has, and yeah, Sam is a little too perfect.
Sam Hamilton, the Irish guy.
Yeah, Sam Hamilton. What are his flaws? He drinks a little.
No, no, he doesn't exist in real life.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He doesn't. And a lot of these people don't exist. I mean, a lot of these people. I mean, it's a work of fiction, but yeah, it's 1952. It's a
Yeah.
different way of writing. It's not the way we write about things today. Today is much more grittier. Today is much more. I don't know. I hate to speak about it, but um, I read what did I read? I read The Demon Copperhead, right? We talked about that a whole bunch of
Yes,
episodes ago.
yes.
Recently
Yeah.
released book, um,
Kingsolver.
Barbara Kingsolver. And it's a remake of David Copperfield set in Appalachia uh, in recent times. Um,
Yeah.
and it's really different. I mean, it's not like the Salinas Valley where everything's wonderful and people are like drilling wells and the land stretches from here to there. And, so these mountains are welcoming, but these mountains are kind of threatening. But in
Mhm.
general, it's a beautiful time and everybody's funny and everybody's kind of slightly comic. And in Demon Copperhead, there's none of that. It's just like we live in a trailer, and my mother's a meth addict, and I'm going to go on. It's a different world.
Yeah.
Um, It was a different thought, maybe, but I kind of liked it. But at the same time, yeah, you're reading, you're like, yeah, this comes off a bit hokey, a little, just the tiniest bit. That doesn't mean it
Which
isn't
one?
pleasant to read. East of Eden.
East of Eden, little hokey. Yeah.
It feels. It feels.
Well, he sets up Sam Hamilton in the beginning. You know, hardworking man, honest, loyal to his wife.
Yeah.
Wife is incredibly religious and does more than a human being could possibly do.
Right. And Sam comes up with great
all this.
ideas that never make him
Yeah.
money. So he's never going to have fame and fortune and blah, blah,
Patents
blah,
a
blah,
lot
blah.
of things, but then the patent gets stolen, or whatever. People
And it's
people
just
deny
like,
him.
and it's just like, it's an allegory. It's an allegory.
Yeah.
People
Yeah.
represent certain ideas. But also there's just less, I don't know. So what else? Or are we ready to move on from E of E?
Well, I do hope you give it a try later. I mean, maybe it's the kind of thing that you read over a number of sittings.
It'll be great
What?
if we had Dar back again, because she was.
We could talk about it, yeah. But would you finish the book?
I will. If Dar is willing to come back on and talk about it, I will finish it.
I love that. Yeah, we could talk about East of Eden again with her. So we've only made it's huge. It's what, 800 pages. It's a
big.
Gigantic.
It's
tome.
a big one.
In my opinion, a worthy read. Really enjoyable. Loved it. I loved just for the insight into character. I love the character building. I mean, he builds 3 generations of characters, and every single person is like okay, they may be a little hokey and they may be a little
not hokey,
too good,
but
too bad. A little. They're not oversimplified. These people are fairly complicated. You thought they were oversimplified?
No, I that's not the right words to say about. Like the Father Trask, I thought was a deeply interesting, like the message. You really get the feeling that Steinbeck has his hands behind their lips. Okay. It's not like some books where characters just sort of go off and do their own thing. It's really very, very orchestrated. And I don't think it's anything. Again, the thing that really throws me off largely is the whole Kathy Adams thing. Because again, you're just waiting for her to come out and like stab somebody at some point.
Yeah. No,
and
but I thought that was great.
I don't know. I just don't like horror. I never watched horror films.
No, she's not. But the thing is, she's horrifying outside of just the violence. In the beginning, it's just violence, and in one ways, you could look at her as a heroine. I mean, she's growing up in a brutal world where men have all the power, and she isn't taking it. But in other ways, she's a truly evil person.
Oh yeah.
And there is, there's no shred of empathy or compassion in her. How that character evolves, you read that she opened she
takes over.
Started work. Yeah. Oh, so you got to where she takes over?
But I got like to within inches of it. Like, I know what's going to happen here.
You know what's happening.
I've had it with this book, and all
right. Yeah, because that's a horrible sequence where here's this lovely brothel owner, right, who takes care of the girls and everything.
But she's,
but she's got no defense against somebody,
and she's weak. So that's what I don't like about the Steinbeck stuff, is that he sets people up for what they've got for. So it's a little facile. It's a little, but that's 1953. I don't think.
I guess so. Well, I thought her interaction though, when her interaction with the other swindler before she meets the Trasks, that was more surprising, because that was another person who wasn't quite like Kathy, but at least was as diabolical as Kathy. I think he was a pimp, right? I mean,
right. He owned a bunch of brothels across Connecticut.
Yeah, and he couldn't quite defeat Kathy, but he was almost a match. And we didn't see that coming, right? First she does her work on him, and he's got no defenses, and then something happens and he realizes what's happening.
Right.
And he does turn it around. And so
kills her.
I liked that, because he was also rotund, right? And also you'd think he'd be a pushover. He's not a pushover.
Right.
Yes, this brothel owner but she's a pushover because she sees the good in people, and she can't help but see the good in everyone,
Yep.
and there is no good to see in Kathy.
Right.
So I don't know. This was compelling to me. Um, from that point, Kathy, there's not a lot of movement with Kathy. So if you get past that part, you can pretty much
She doesn't
rest
kill a lot
easy
more
until
people.
towards the end of the book. No, no, no. She doesn't go on. I mean, she does. She makes a horrific situation in that brothel, but she's not like constantly killing people and getting away with it, and having everybody love her anyway. Yeah.
The
Oh, you're
pages
so
are not blood
adorable.
spattered on a
Yeah.
routine base. Okay, fine. That's
And some consequences befall her, you know. So
okay. Yeah, if you get
not
Dar
it's
back
not a
on, I'll read the rest of it.
complete like yeah, it's good.
Now,
Um
here's an interesting segue.
yeah.
The year after East of Eden was published, a man called Elmore Leonard published a short story called The 310 to Yuma.
Hmm.
And we talked about this yesterday. You didn't see
You
the one
said
with
watch
Russell
it. I
Crowe.
haven't seen his movies, and you know what I need to do is read some Elmore Leonard, you know, at some point in
Oh,
my life,
dude,
right? I mean,
dude,
because, yeah.
I will pay you
No,
$1,000 to read Freaky Deaky.
Freaky
Freaky
Deaky is the one.
Deaky. And in fact, yesterday was a very happy day in my life for many
Okay.
reasons. But one reason made me really happy was I read the Wikipedia page about Elmore Leonard, and they said that Freaky Deaky was one of Elmore Leonard's personal favorites. And I was like, yes, yes. It has one of the most magnificent opening chapters in the history of writing. From the moment that the Sumerians started pressing wedge shapes into wet clay until today, the high point is the first chapter of Freaky Deaky. You gotta listen to it. It's
All right, yeah.
he's just great.
No,
But
I will.
anyway,
I'll grab the audiobook. I don't have anything in my queue right now, so
yeah.
that's great. I no, it sounds right.
So he wrote the 310 to Yuma, which was made into
Mhm.
two films. It was made into a 1957 film, but it was made into a 2007 film with Russell Crowe and Christian Bale, who we were talking about yesterday for
Wow.
other reasons that we will come to.
Yeah.
And the interesting thing is that at least in the 2007 film, uh, you have somebody who's kind of like Kathy Adams, but different. You have the Russell Crowe character. And
Hmm.
the key thing about the Russell Crowe character is that he's seductive,
Yes.
not
Well, which is what
sexy,
oh, okay. Because
not necessarily
Kathy Adams
sexy.
is also or Kathy Amesbury is also
Right. Kathy Ames, I think,
very
is
she
what her
knows how to manipulate men. I mean,
right.
that's
And
her
women
key
too. I
skill.
mean, she knows how to manipulate
And women.
everybody, but she knows how to manipulate men.
Yeah.
And Russell Crowe is great because he is the character, and I don't know if he's getting this from the Elmore Leonard story because it's a short story, but he's a seductive character. Like people fall into his orbit, even when they know what he is, even when they know precisely what he is, they fall into his orbit. And the interesting thing about 310 to Yuma is the relationship between him and Christian Bale's character,
Mm-hmm.
who knows precisely what he is
Mm.
and doesn't fall into the orbit and negotiates with him. So it's almost like I think it's a classic story of how do you deal with the devil? Some
Right.
people run away, some people get sucked in, but every now and then there's somebody who can negotiate with the devil. There's somebody who can not play a trick, but you know, strike a
Yeah.
bargain with the devil.
Or even I know where this is going. Even if you are somewhat prepared, you're at least not looking for all the signs of humanity and
Right.
feeling there. Yeah.
He's a very appealing Mephistopheles. I mean, Mephistopheles is such a fabulous character.
Right.
And I know we've talked about this before, but if you haven't seen it, you should really see it. Honestly, 310 to Yuma with Crow and Bale is a fabulous, fabulous movie, and you should check that out. Hang on a second. Jim's having a coughing fit here. Go.
I'm going to take a break. I'm going to grab another beer and
Yeah.
just cough my
You're gonna
brains
grab
out.
another
And
quote unquote beer. Okay, yeah.
yeah, it's a green. They're wonderful, but they have no
No,
alcohol.
you're doing
And
coke. Don't lie to our
I'll be
one
back.
guest
I've
here.
had this awful cold all week. Hold on.
Okay. There he goes. He's going off to get his beer. I got my own beer. I've got a Conehead India Pale Ale, 5.7 ABV. So it's not exactly an earth-shattering can of beer, but it's enough to keep the gears of conversation well lubricated.
Okay.
Okay, he's talking to people. There he comes. He's up in his drawer. He's pulling out a napkin. Does he actually have handkerchiefs? God, he's a dandy. Here he comes. Is this going live with video? Or is it just audio?
Yeah, with
They
video.
can see us?
Well, they can see us. I know. It's horrifying. Oh, actually, I think Jay has left. So
bye.
She typed Barbara Kingsolver, and then I think
that's it. I got with your results.
310 to Yuma.
So fabulous, good movie to watch. Really good. Christian Bale's character is very, very intriguing and very compelling. You'll know what I'm talking when you see it. You'll really dig it.
I'm going to see it. Is it on Criterion?
I don't know. I doubt
I'll
it.
look it up.
It was a popular film. I mean, it has Russell Crowe. It's like a pop flick. But a great
Fighting around the world.
Like Ford versus Ferrari. It's a fun watch. It's a real hayride.
It's on Peacock and Prime. But I think you can rent it. You can probably rent it on Apple.
Right.
But yeah, it's a paid view, which I don't mind.
It's worth it. It's worth it. It's a good. It moves along. It's really good. It's a good Western with all the good things that we love about good Westerns. But the interesting thing is, again, there's this key character, this person who's obviously a bad. Oh, green seat. Yeah, they've got those.
These are very good. The only thing they don't have, of course,
is alcohol.
It's alcohol.
Oh, forget it. Anyway, as I was saying, it's a good film and it's a good character. So it's interesting that Elmore Leonard, who's at the beginning of his writing career, and John Steinbeck, who's at the end of his writing career, are sort of touching on the same topics, which is the charisma of evil, or how evil survives and how people can't see it. Because remember, the Irish guy, Sam Hamilton, his wife, she went to Kathy just after the pregnancy, and you're thinking, oh, she's going to unearth it because she's the tough, she's the righteous, religious person who takes no crap off of Sam whatsoever. She comes back and says, oh, she's a nice lady. Everything's fine.
Right.
And so the question is...
But Sam does see it. Sam's like,
Sam sees it,
wrong there.
And the sheriff sees it.
Yeah.
But the sheriff says, look, you don't cause any problems, and I won't cause any problems. Do we have a deal?
Yeah. And what do you think about that? What
What I'm more interested in is what was going through Steinbeck's head when he wrote that. Because he was he's very much about fat people. It's very interesting how he mentioned how the sheriff's buttocks expanded beyond the edges of the chair seat when he sat down. And he's very particular about how the madam of the brothel is reaching for the next piece of almond roca to shove in her mouth.
Right.
And so there's this idea of these fat, happy people who are just sheep for the plucking by people like Kathy Amesbury, whatever her name of the day is.
Right.
And so, I think again, everybody's on a spectrum. Like you sort of mentioned that Charles Trask is sort of a little bit on the spectrum of Kathy Amesbury. And I
Right.
think the sheriff is a little bit in the mix too. He's smart enough to know that this is a problem.
Right.
But what he is he's the complacency of the community. And he comes by and he basically says he's lazy. He's lazy and he's self assured. He's authority. And he says, look, I don't want to go through all the trouble and blood of trying to corner you and figure out what's going on. Just you do, you stay in your lane, I'll stay in mine, and we'll get along together just fine. So I wondered if Steinbeck was trying to. I wonder how much of it was informed about what was going on in his life and in America at that time. That's what
Well,
I'm really interested in.
yeah, I mean, I have to say, I'm not entirely buying the stereotyping people by weight of John Steinbeck. You have, let's say, three prominent
not
characters
not by
that
weight,
are.
but he clearly
We
telegraphs to you. He clearly telegraphs things to you about people's virtue by their physical characteristics. I think there's a
mm,
lot of there's a lot of stereotypes from 1953 here. I really do. And there's stereotypes but anyway, you're saying, go ahead.
okay. So, I mean, yes, the sheriff's main flaw is that he's lazy. But on the plus side, I got a sense that he knew that if he went up against Kathy, it would it wouldn't work. It wouldn't definitely work out in favor for him, and that the best way that he could deal with her is to make a deal,
Got to deal with the devil.
cut a deal with her cut a deal that she could understand and that she could
Right.
agree to.
Because Kathy
And
said that she actually liked the sheriff because he was much more direct. It's one of the few
yep,
times you hear Kathy's own voice. She actually appreciated the sheriff because he was much more direct than everybody else.
right.
He got to the
And
point.
and the brothel owner, I forget her name, is it Peggy or something?
I don't remember.
That the who does fall prey to Kathy. Um, yes, she is trusting and nice, and yes, she's an overindulgent in terms of food or in terms of sweets. Um, but she's also really industrious, working hard, and has run the best brothel, right? I mean,
Right.
and Steinbeck talks about the necessity of brothels in Salinas at the time. So he's it's it's not that she's lazy, right? She's actually amassed quite a fortune. It's that she's naive.
Yeah. But she's weak. She's chubby. She's weak. And the sheriff
Well,
is
he also
chubby.
she preys on. I mean, the weakest in front of Kathy is Adam, and Adam isn't chubby.
Right. But he's just a
So
basket case. He's a
his
basket.
his
Traumatized.
story is also incredible, right? I mean,
It's sad.
his whole hobo years. I mean, his hobo years are.
Yeah.
I've never read anything like that.
It reminded me of Ulysses Grant. Served in the war and basically on the eve of the Civil War, Ulysses Grant was like an inch away from like sleeping in his car. I mean, he had a family, he had a wife, he had kids, but he was like begging jobs from people. He's begging money from people. I mean, yeah. I don't know if that was in Steinbeck's mind when he wrote it, but I'm
Or
sure he
maybe.
saw what happened after. I mean, it's 53, it's 52. So there's plenty of time after World War II. And so he's seen two wars come and go. When was he born? He probably had some experience with World War One and certainly World War Two. And if it's 52 that he's writing the book, then he has probably some inkling of the Korean War. So I think
Yeah,
evil's an important thing. I think evil and how the good people of the Salinas Valley get suckered in by evil.
he was born in 1902 in Salinas.
Right. So when the war started, he was 12 years old. So yeah, he knew
Yep,
about the First World War. And by
and
the
the
time it
second.
was over, he was 14, 12, 14, 15, 16 years old, 17
Yeah,
years old. So yeah, he knew what was going on.
and then the
Um,
avian flu comes through
right.
and does a real number in California. Um, huge death toll from that.
Yeah. So I'm just fascinated by these people who are talking about evil and negotiating with evil and how people try, the people who don't see it, the people who
Yeah.
see it, but they try to negotiate it away. Nobody tries to take on Kathy.
No.
I mean, nobody comes
No.
along. I mean, if this was Hollywood 2025, somebody would come by with like a high powered, automatic weapon
Yeah.
and shoot her in the end. There'd be
Yeah.
some climactic battle
There'd be
scene.
take a bazooka to the
Yeah. Yeah.
building, right? It's the only
Predator
way.
5,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
but that
Yeah.
doesn't happen. That doesn't
No.
happen at all.
No.
Interesting. So,
And it's in the West where things are dealt with with guns. But I think there's something about her charm and beauty that nobody can even imagine that step, even though, and nobody fully understands how evil she is. Sarah Elkins chimes in. Hi all, I've missed almost the whole discussion. Just got back from work. We're talking about John Steinbeck, and we're talking about Elmore Leonard. So we're moving on to 310 To Yuma, and I think we also want to talk about Ford versus Ferrari.
I think we do. Why don't you tell me what you think of Ford versus Ferrari?
I thought it was a delightful film, and I completely didn't expect to think it was a delightful film because I watched.
Same
I'm
here.
not crazy about racing films.
Yep.
I'm really not moved by the guys with the G forces and going around the track. And
Yep.
although in this movie you get a lot more of just how difficult it is to race. And the acting is superb. Matt Damon's amazing,
Is he?
and Christian Bale is incredible.
Matt Damon had a hard role because he's supposed to play a guy from Texas.
Mm-hmm.
It's always a hard one to do. It really is, because Texas is it's its own kind of vibe. I thought he did fine. And Jim and I had a great moment yesterday because I was saying Christian Bale is so amazing playing this British guy. And I'm like, usually when you have American actors playing British people, it just turns to shit. And then both of us were like, hold a second, are we sure he's American? We looked at him, of course not. He's British.
Yeah.
Or English, whatever the proper term.
And you actually looked it up and found. I just assumed because he was in he was in Henry V and as a teenager.
No, it says English-born actor.
Yeah.
Christian Bale. And so, but nevertheless, Christian Bale's portrayal of this person is so magnificent. It's not just the words he says, but how he holds his head. Like that way Christian Bale keeps he's constantly sticking his head out at the end of his neck. Yeah. And everything that comes out of his mouth is unexpected. Everything that comes out of his mouth is a little off, is off to a little bit. He really I hate to say this because this is when Jim rage quits the podcast. But he really, I thought he would be the perfect Connor Penske for an effective remake of The Peripheral. Remember, Connor Penske is the guy who's been disabled and has lost some of his limbs. Yes. And he's like this very funny, but fundamentally total PTSD, completely on the edge, ready to explode at any moment, but he's unbelievably funny and just unpredictable, completely and explosively violent at times and unpredictable, but really funny. Again, evil.
Yeah, that would be, right.
And I just thought Christian Bale's portrayal of that guy in Ford versus Ferrari, you just move that thing over to
move that guy over to
it would be Connor. Fabulous as Connor Penske. But anyway, yeah, good movie. What else did you like about it?
I did like the racing scenes. I actually liked the racing scenes.
Gorgeous cars.
Whereas I watched F1 with Brad Pitt, which just seemed to be like, okay, now we need to put Brad Pitt in a race car. A lot of the same themes, like just completely vapid and stupid. Whereas I don't know. It's just even the way they're shot, just the way
it's beautiful.
The car scenes where he can where they get around each other, where they pass each other on the inside, the outside. Uh-huh. I've seen this 100 times, but in this movie, it's compelling.
Yeah, and they're gorgeous.
I don't know
cars.
what they did.
They're gorgeous
And they're
cars.
beautiful, right?
I
And
love
it's set
those.
in the 1960s, which is
Oh
nice
my
too. But
God.
yeah,
Those
yeah.
Ferrari cars are really beautiful. And even the Ford
I,
cars are really beautiful. And I love how
when Ford goes to
like the whole
when
thing.
Ford goes to Italy to, I
Yeah.
mean, the executives go and try to negotiate with Enzo Ferrari.
Enzo Ferrari.
I
He
love
has
it.
and I
I
love because it all
love
comes
it.
through a translator. Enzo Ferrari goes, "Ah, blah,
Yeah,
blah, blah," and the translator says, "Yeah, Henry Ford, he has a giant, ugly factory and he makes millions of ugly little cars, and all of his executives are sons of whores." And it's like, okay, I guess the meeting's over. But
yeah,
the colors were beautiful. What I loved was that one thing where I guess they have like Shelby, Carol Shelby has his workshop at an airport somewhere because there's constantly jets like taxiing up and down,
right.
and there was something really mesmer because it gives that whole sense of just a huge landscape. And they're working on these cars, they're driving around. All of a sudden, like this big jet goes taxiing by to a terminal or something like that. So I guess they're like next to an airport somewhere, and it's just beautiful. There's like it has big vistas. The movie is big and expansive. It's not claustrophobic at all.
And I want to point out also, as Sarah says, I'm not a Ford fan, a Henry Ford fan, and
Oh
it is not a promotional movie for any
no,
car company.
no,
Not Ferrari and not Ford.
certainly not Ford.
And I was so thankful that it wasn't, because so often that's what it is, because they're getting, their sponsorship or whatever, or there's like a side business. This is not that kind of film. Um, this takes a real hard critical look at that
But it's
company.
really cool
And
because
it's
it's
not the original Henry Ford, too. It's his son or his
yeah,
grandson that's running it. And still, yeah,
still it's messed
just
up.
awful people.
Yeah, and well, I
Um,
shouldn't say still it's messed up, but it's messed up in a different way.
yeah.
Henry Ford, the original Henry Ford, was a fascinating human being and a really changed the world. But he was a rabid anti-Semite and a really unpleasant person in a
Yeah.
lot of
Yeah. Yeah.
ways.
He was a
Um,
eugenicist. And
and was do you have to go? Do we
no,
have
no, no.
time?
No, I just said, yeah, I'm here.
Or 6:30? I just
Um,
want to make sure because I got plenty to talk about.
well, I can't go on too much longer, but I do want to say one of my favorite scenes, maybe my favorite scene in the whole movie, is when they manage to get BB, the vice president, away from Henry Ford the second, and they manage to get Henry Ford into a race car,
Yeah,
and then Matt Damon's character, what's his name again? Shelby,
Shelby,
uh,
Carol Shelby,
take who is not really supposed to drive on the track
and
anymore.
is not a totally self-controlled person either.
No, no, yeah, he's and just takes him takes him for a ride
Yeah,
the way you would, and that was beautifully shot, and you could see what it was doing to the older man, and at the end of it,
yeah,
Henry Ford just completely breaks down and
yeah, yeah.
weeps,
Let's not give
and
it away
it's this
because I don't know if Sarah's
fantastic
seen
scene.
Ford versus Ferrari, but
Yeah,
Sarah. It's worth a visit. I'll tell you
yeah,
that.
it's a real movie.
It's a feel, and it's also it's fundamentally it's nobody's going to jump out from behind a bush and stab somebody. It's fundamentally a really whole. I love her too. The Christian Bale's wife. I love his son.
Wonderful.
I think the three of
Like,
them together are fabulous. I
yeah,
love the guy who's the mechanic. He was great.
yeah,
And I wanted to mention something while we're on this, which is that I just read an article about how Motion Pictures Academy, the Motion Picture Academy of Arts and Sciences, the people who do the Oscars, there's a new
hmm,
Oscar. I'm surprised that this Oscar didn't already exist. They're handing out Oscars now for casting.
I know. I just heard
And I'm
that.
like,
Yeah,
why
how
did
could
it take
that not
until
have been there before?
you give Oscars for makeup, right? I mean, for God's sakes, you can't give an Oscar for casting. And I thought about it because today, again, another thing that'll make you rage quit. I was rewatching a piece of The Expanse.
Mm,
And one of the great strengths of The Expanse is the phenomenal casting. Not a weak person. Everybody is memorable. Bobby Draper, Kamina Drummer,
yeah,
Christian Avasarala. Christian Avasarala is the only person who's like maybe famous in the entire
Well,
thing.
the revolutionary
Oh
on
yeah,
the
he's great.
what is his name? He's in
Anderson
every.
Dawes.
He's in Foundation.
That's David
He's
Strathairn. Foundation was after this,
no,
but
not David Stranger.
yeah.
He
Oh, you're right.
um
You're right. Christian Dawes is
no,
the other
no,
guy.
no,
He plays Dr. Moriarty in the Sherlock Holmes. Yeah, he's great. He's fab. He is in
yeah,
Foundation. He's fabulous.
yeah, and he was pretty famous at the time. But you're right, he's not a superstar. There were no
No
superstars
superstars.
in that
David
film.
Strathairn was in it, who's played a whole bunch of stuff. He was great.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people I didn't know at all who are just absolute. Bobby Draper and Kamina Drummer, just two
Mm.
fabulous characters. So I'm glad I've become a little more sensitive to casting, which is that it it means a lot. Like the
Oh, it makes the
person
whole
you
film.
put in a particular role.
I want to
Is
bring in a comment from Sarah, which I think is interesting.
is this going to happen all night? Really, Sarah? Come on, back off. Sarah, get
Sarah
your
says
own podcast.
Thomas Edison's wife hated Ford because of Ford's effect on Edison's health. And then she says, but I don't love Edison either.
Yeah, Edison's not. Did you see an interesting film? My brother was very insistent that I see this film, which was
before we move on,
yes.
Sarah does add, and this is interesting. The casting award nominations were weird because the casters for several Best Actor, Actress Supporting nominations did not get nominated themselves. We'll see how it shakes out. Okay, well, it's the Oscars. I don't watch them. I find I never agree. Anyway, go ahead.
I don't care who they pick as the casting person.
Yeah.
Personally, what I found was fascinating is that they didn't have one until this year, and I was like, my God,
it seems like a huge omission. Yeah,
you realize with shows like why is The Expanse such a fab? There's several reasons, but a major thing is that just everybody is so. The actors shows are so fabulous. Where was I? What were we talking about? Were we talking about?
I'm sorry, I interrupted you, and you were moving on to something
road.
more interesting. And
I was.
stopped it.
I was. Oh, she was talking about Edison. Oh yeah, Edison. Yeah. The Voltage Wars. Is that the name of the movie? There's a movie that talks about Westinghouse and Edison, and Edison is played by Benedict Cumberbatch, and I forget who plays Westinghouse. It's worth a visit. It's not. I don't think it's a great film.
I mean, that is a great bit of drama where they were touring the country.
The AC Wars, right? The Power
trying
Wars.
To show how a direct current was. Trying to show how alternating current was dangerous by electrocuting animals.
Yeah. And that's a good film because it's interesting because it does go sort of into Edison's. Edison's a fascinating person. Very interesting. How he she was like, we need to wrap this up.
No, just we should wrap it up, but I'm just teasing you.
Okay, well, let me just finish on Edison and let me just give a preview of the other topics I have here I want to talk about.
Oh my goodness.
Which is the interesting thing about Edison is that great careers come from very little things. Andy Warhol drew pictures of shoes.
Yeah.
And Westinghouse was a brake boy on railroads. He was one of back then on a railroad. There was a lot of people on a train, a set of cars, and he was a brake boy. And his incredible invention was the air brake system for trains, which up until he invented it, a lot of people died. Because the only way to stop a train was to have brakemen who would run to each car and turn a wheel to apply the brakes. There is no way you could just step on a pedal and have all the cars brake at the same time. Guys had to manually go and turn the brakes on each car to slow the train down. If you're talking about a thing that has 20 cars or 30 cars on it, and people died all the time. There's all kinds of accidents. And he invented the pneumatic brake system, which is that you have a compressed air system that's what those hoses are that connect between train cars. When you see those hoses.
Right, of course,
Yes, it's the air brake system.
Interlink there, yeah.
And he invented that. And You think, oh, right? What did he invent? Like the toilet seat? It's like, no, he invented the air brake system, which was hugely important and had a huge effect and made him fortune, which he then went on to build a huge empire. Um,
Yeah.
but I'll end on this. I did watch a good special about Henry Ford, and one guy said Henry Ford doesn't make cars. Henry Ford makes men.
Right.
And the interesting thing about Henry Ford was that he was absolutely obsessed with social engineering. You know, he had his factories, he had his factory towns, and he promulgated rules of conduct, family conduct for his employees. And he had legions of inspectors who would go and could go into people's homes at any time and see what they were doing to make sure they were leading moral lives. Yeah, you know, it's that Yankee thing because he was a Yankee. The
Yeah.
Fords actually came from Massachusetts and moved to
Right.
Michigan.
Oh,
And anyway, so
how like us.
like us, freaking
How like
Yankees
us.
out of control.
Friggin-
But
you
he
know,
became,
it's just we're a bunch of gotta do's, is what we are.
yeah, and then the real thing that soured his reputation was he sort of descended into anti-Semitism, and that's, I think it's called the Dearborn Independent. He started a newspaper that was basically America's trumpet of anti-Semitism, the Dearborn Independent. I may be getting that wrong a little bit, so forgive me if I have, but that really tarnished his legacy,
It's
and rightfully
tragic.
so.
It's just
Rightfully
so
so, yeah. But it's a lot like another movie, like There Will Be Blood with Daniel Day-Lewis. I think that's a fascinating, and I'll stop with that. I know I've stopped 5 times
No,
before.
I think I agree. I think that is
East of Eden, 310 to Yuma, Henry Ford. I think There Will Be Blood sits right in that pocket.
yes, and it feels like there's kind of a direct line from East of Eden.
It's California. It's oil.
Yeah.
It's people
Instead of
moving
food,
to
it's oil. Yeah.
Yeah, people are moving to the new Eden and to make $1 billion. And yeah, okay.
I'd watch that again.
Oh,
Another one I really want to watch again, and I don't know if you've ever seen it, is Max with John Cusack. It's not the best film made, and it's not the best directed film, but the subject matter is heartbreaking and really alarming.
Okay, don't say any more than that.
Okay, Max. Okay. It's hard to find.
And I'll tell
John Cusack.
A really crappy film I just watched, which nobody in their right mind should ever watch, although it was on the Criterion Channel, was To Live and Die in L.A. by William Friedkin. A horrifically bad film. It's like Miami Vice.
Yeah.
But done really badly with like the worst possible soundtrack by Wang Chung, who you could tell had no idea of how to make a soundtrack in any way whatsoever. God. So with that,
as John Gorka once said, it would say about this film, perhaps, it's not a good film, but it is long.
Right. It's noisy.
It's noisy.
A lot of things happen. It's really noisy. Okay, I think that's it. If you want to wrap this up, that's probably the best time to do it. Hi, right. Sarah. Bye,
we've got
Sarah.
lots of topics. I need to get some more guests. We'd love to have Sarah back on as a co-host, I think. Right. Really, truly. And
I think I went through all my stuff.
Yeah, I think we talked about things.
Well, I have a couple more things. I want to talk about Thor Ragnarok, and I want to talk about Underworld by Don DeLillo and movies and stuff like that. But that's a good start. We're not doing anything next week, or we're doing Thursday next week, right?
We're doing Thursday next week. So we'll start. I'll set up the live for Thursday, not Wednesday. And yeah.
Do you have a guest or not?
I don't have. I need to line up guests again.
Oh, we don't need a guest. I got.
And I have been flat on my back for many days now. So
look,
we got stuff to read. We got stuff to watch, and we'll do it.
Yeah, I got stuff.
We'll do it.
I got your stuff right here.
All right. Till then.
Till then.
Funny Not Funny is produced by Jim Infantino at Slab Media in Boston. Jim Infantino and Lionel Casson are the co-hosts. Our website is funnynotfunny.net. The theme music is from the song Wheel from the album Utopia Revisited by Jim. The opinions presented by the co-hosts are ridiculous and should not be taken seriously by anyone. Our intended audience is literally nobody. If you're listening to this podcast, you should probably pause to reflect on other choices you've recently made. Please do not subscribe or leave a rating or review. It only encourages us to make more. Thanks for listening.